Hello and welcome to Calico Flower Studio. I'm Dani, and today I am going to be making a mixed media piece, which means I'll be incorporating drawing, painting, and collage. And as I make this piece, I'm going to be contemplating presence in my creative practice. So sit back, relax, enjoy the process. And if you've been enjoying the process with me here, please subscribe, share with your friends, and leave me a comment. I always love hearing from you. All right, thank you so much for being here, and enjoy. So today I'm making on the floor. I just wanted to have some space. I make on the floor pretty often. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the space, really. I like to spread out, So I've picked out some materials for today, some collage pieces, a small shred of a map, and an end seam of a piece of fabric, a color swatch for this color called peasant bread. I thought that was so bizarre. Some stamps, paint on styrofoam, a piece of privacy envelope, a chunk of an old collage, another chunk of an old block print. Here I've cut a shape out of the middle of it. It's the silhouette of a sleeping cat. Another hunk of old collage, and finally a piece of writing. I wrote this when I was drafting one of my newsletters, and in this letter I describe how it felt to see desert mountains for the first time. I had never perceived so much space before. My brain was like recalibrating to the space. So yeah. I'm going to start off by mark making on the wood panel. And this wood panel is primed in a way that I can see my brush strokes in the primer. So I'm just going to start by making some pencil marks, and I'm just responding to the brush strokes that are already there in the primer. You may have heard me say that term before, mark making, and maybe you wonder, what does that mean? Well, it's really just another way of saying like drawing, or coloring, or painting, or printing, or whatever. You can make marks with anything, but I feel like the spirit of the term is to kind of let go of the tendency to render something like a recognizable shape or image. They're just marks. And they kind of have their own personality and energy to them. So at this point in my Cultivate journey, where I reflect on what I wish to cultivate in my life and in my practice, I'm thinking about cultivating presence. And there's so much presence that comes with making certain kinds of abstract art, I think. There's definitely merits to having a plan, a purpose, or an intention for a piece, but there's a kind of freedom that comes from improvisation. It's like jazz music. all of my materials are like different instruments that make different sounds, you know? They all chime in and respond to one another. And that's pretty much what I do on all of these videos. I'm just recording my own mixed media collage jam sessions, I guess. It really is so interesting to think about how my work could embody presence. In the making of it, absolutely. Like I said, it's like an improv performance. The yes and of making art, right? I put a mark down and then I respond to it. And lots of unexpected things happen, and then I just work with it. Responding to an edge or a shape or a color, repeating it or changing it slightly. But aside from just making art and embodying a sense of presence that way, I think there is presence in the looking too, in experiencing the art when it's finished. There's usually a lot to see in my work, and it's not immediately apparent, so you have to spend time with it. And because it's not pictorial, hold on. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. The cats really bring me in back to the moment for sure. And just allow me to surrender to whatever they're bringing to the moment. So anyway. So, you have to spend time with my work, and because it's not necessarily pictorial, like it's not a specific image or scene or anything that I'm trying to depict. I guess what you're looking at is basically recontextualized objects. It's an object, you know? It's objects on material, on more objects, and more material. And I think I've mentioned this before, but one of the things that I like about allowing parts of my collage to spill off the edge of the main support, kind of like how some of these pieces are doing here, it emphasizes the objecthood of my art. It kind of reminds you that this object, this piece of art is present in the room with you. It's just another body presenting its own type of energy. It's like a feeling, which ironically is less abstract than words and ideas. If that makes sense, you know? The feeling is real, it's in your body, it's there. Of course, we often eventually find words and ways to describe even abstract art. You know, we create some type of narrative to apply to it, and that's okay too. Just experimenting here. I'm trying to see how I can incorporate these stamps. I kind of like putting them up in the corner like it's a correspondence of some kind. I have my peasant bread. What a strange name for a color, right? Like, have you ever browsed through color swatches and just found the most ridiculous names? And the thing is, I really like that color. Actually, we used that color to paint some bookshelves in our living room. So our bookshelves are the color of peasant bread, apparently. All right, so now I am just taking some white paint and creating some space here. Just clearing out some space to think and to feel. Organize the shapes a little bit. And do a couple layers of that. All right. I just want to throw in a few little fun details here. Another layer of material, just responding to what's there. You can see I added in my colored pencil shavings as collage elements. It was like they were begging to be in the piece. They were blowing onto it from the wind. I do love the moments where I get to go in and just add small little touches of things, because then I feel like I'm really immersed in the work. That's something else I really enjoy about work like this, is that you can kind of zoom in and zoom out, and you're rewarded either way. So I'm actually adding text to this one, which is kind of unusual for me, but it just felt right. Thinking about space, and it says, I thought about the space between where we came from and where we were. And at the top it says, I never used to think about mountains as much as I do now. And then at the bottom it says, infinite space within myself. So now I've matted this artwork onto a piece of primed canvas, and I think that this will be a placeholder for now. Before I put this on my website, I'll switch it out with a nice piece of Bristol paper, probably. Well, thank you so much for being present with me throughout this process. I hope you enjoyed all the other media that I threw into this one. I had fun. And if you want to buy this piece, you can find it at calicoflowerstudio.com or in the video description. And of course, please subscribe and comment and share this video with your friends. And I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.